Welcome to the Starting Over Podcast. I'm your host, Edward Sheldon, aka Dark Logos. And this is the show where we look at the strategies, tactics, and mechanics behind the game of heroclix. Alright, once again, I'm with the super awesome Jay Solomon. This is part 2 of our X of Swords review. And we are picking this up in the super rare doobly-doo. So far, Jay has felt that this is the worst set in all of heroclix.
Yeah, that's not a contentious statement at all. No.
I kid. I have set Jay up for the haters in the little bit of the comments. But yeah, all right. So we're going to pick this up, and we're going to go to our first super rare, number 45, Captain Britain. And I like Captain Britain. And at 5 points, you get your sword. Then you have Excalibur Mystical Protectors, which is the same one that they had previously. And then you have, for Queen and Country, which this is the part that I like the most. You have willpower on a 4 through 6, but when Captain Britain uses it, you may also remove an action token from a friendly character within range. Any friendly character, no point value or any other, shenanigans like that. I think this is a good figure. What do you think?
I think this reminds me of the other super rare Captain Britain Psylocke, and that's not a good thing because I think the other one's better.
Okay.
Like the other one has like the leadership extra action token removal thing. I'm like, why did you design the same figure again? I don't know. I also feel like she doesn't seem super rare. Like, this could be a rare, as far as I'm concerned. I don't know. I just feel like at either point value, she's just too expensive for what she does. I don't see it.
Okay. I will also say this. If you look at her, she does what Power Broker does to a degree, except Power Broker does, I think, to all friendlies. That got like a serum thing.
The Power Broker has to power action and inject people.
Yeah. But here's the thing: if you give her the super serum, super soldier serum to Captain Britain, I think it makes her willpower like 3 through 6.
That's fair.
Yeah, I think so. Like for a sword, maybe not. Like super soldier serum, that might actually be the play, and you could start cleaning, tokens off your force real easily. So again, something to consider. All right, next.
Wait, so you're saying you're gonna get wait. So you're saying you want to give her the serum instead of a sword?
Yeah, that's a potential.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure because technically, we're talking about a sword bearer.
Yeah, so, we're not paying for them points. We're not paying for them points. But yeah, like I'm thinking like that may be the play. All right, next up is it B or Bay? I think it's B.
Honestly, don't know.
We're B, the Moonblade. So I'm gonna say like I like this figure. Hypersonic speed. Giant reach, Giant reach 2, so you can, you don't have to really worry about breaking away. You could just whack people from a distance. Quake, but deals 3 damage instead of 2. So like this is the full get away from me, don't touch me figure. I like it. I think it has potential. I think you're more giving this figure like Mercy, the Blade Mercy, than you are giving it like something that that makes it a little bit more offensive. So what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I think she's reasonable. I mean, I think she goes on your sideline for your swap team because that attack power can be a win condition against certain teams.
Yeah.
Or sorry, I mean you main force her. You have to main force her to start with a sword, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. If you want to start with a sword, yeah. No, that's fair. Like again. It's swap season. I get 5 points of free sword when. Anyway, we did a show about that, so we're not going to go into that. All right, next up is Nimrod the Lesser. I like this. I like this figure a lot. My only problem that I have with Nimrod the Lesser is you put it, you made it based off of a rally mechanic for you to get your mission points without carrying it up and having keywords that also work with it so that you can be on theme and have like a rally mechanic. Because I think this is like the first, well, I would say Ultron, I take that back. Ultron and Ultron Infinity can attack and do a really good job attacking. This is one of those few mission point figures that can attack and do other stuff instead of just focusing on mission points, but you don't have any good freaking Sentinel rally stuff built in. And it's just frustrating. But I like the figure. I like the little Nimrod pogs that it makes. They're autonomous. They have Psy Blast and Exploit. And they gain rally points. They can gain rally tokens for you, so you can drain them to get mission points. So I like it. It's just good. Gosh, they did not set this up well. So, what's your thoughts?
Did I stutter when I said that mission point teams weren't viable still, or?
Oh, you're not a fan. That's fair.
Again, I want mission points to be viable, but they're just not. So
I think in the future we would have to have a conversation. I don't know when the future of like, what does mission points have to do to be viable? That needs to be a show that you and I do.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
I need to get another couple members from Phoenix Nest, have that conversation. It's just like, yeah. All right. Let's move on to Nimrod. All right. Nimrod Prime. Now this is the figure that has gotten all the scuttlebutt and the upper butt too. So Nimrod, we have two values. We have 125, and then we also have 35 points. At 125, we're looking at running shot, 12 attack, 19 defense, 4 damage. He has the recruiter for Sentinel, which that sort of hurts my soul just a little bit. But in all fairness, Sentinel could use some recruiter love potentially. So there is that. Then he has the best part, Disintegration Beam, Pulse Wave. When Nimrod uses it, you may instead only target a character within range along a single direct line of fire. If you do, hit characters are dealt 2 damage instead of 1. If only one character was targeted and it was an opposing character, he deals his printed damage value instead. Welcome back. Welcome back, single target pulse wave. We've missed you. He has stop, click, invincible, and regen. Outwit up front on the first 4 clicks at 125, perplex on the back end at low points. He has the awesome perplex. So what's your thought on Prime Nimrod? Does he pass your Prime test, or does he not?
Well, it's weird because he's actually the first Prime that you want to own more than one of, which is just really surprising.
Because of Master Mold.
Right?
Yeah.
Because of Master Mold, yeah. He has a Sentinel keyword, so he's automatically more considerable. And then also, I would main force him probably. I mean, I could probably find a team for him on a robot theme team and play just enough other Sentinels that he gets recruiter. Although, is it better than Mad Thinker? I don't know. But I think that he has some potential at the low points. I feel like the high points is just a little bit too much. And, but yeah, he's a very reasonable 35-point figure, I think.
All right. I will say this. Would I understand if someone played him at 125? Yes. Are most people ever going to play him at that point value? No. Which is sad, because that single target pulls.
I think a mutual friend of you and I is planning on playing him at full.
Yeah, he has freaking 12 attack, 4 damage, pulse wave.
No, for sure.
I'm like,
Absolutely, positively.
hey, Sarkarian Iron Man, eat this. Take this pulse
Yeah.
wave. Be gimped. Please be gimped. Anyway, that's. I think this is going to be the. I'm going to call it now $200 figure. I'm calling it now $200 figure. Once everybody realizes that Master Mold is done with this. So yeah. All right. Next up is Deadpool. This is the homie. I think this guy is going to go for $50 to $60. Floaties for everyone. Adjacent friendly characters have dolphin movement symbol. My healing factor is mostly battling sunburn. At the end of your turn, heal Deadpool 1 click. That's realistically hardly ever going to come into play. What part of pool didn't you understand? Facing teleport. Free, generate up to 4 water terrain markers in squares within range and line of fire. At the beginning of your next turn, even loss, remove them. So, the fact that you give all of your adjacent friendly characters dolphin is what, and you're generating the water. I believe like that together is the most broken thing. Definitely with the way dolphin is, like, because I believe like you can't draw a line of fire to them.
You can't target them if you are more than 4 away.
If you're more
So
than
it's
4
basically behind the scenes, and it's basically the same as Bishop and behind the scenes. Yeah.
Yeah. So that right there is really powerful when you start combining it with X-Men, and in particular your Venom X-Men, because now the only way for you to even come and deal with them is to make a melee attack, and that to me is ridiculous. So I like I said, I believe that this is going to be a $50, $60 super rare, like automatic.
My only problem with the figure is that because of the adjacency thing, it's going to be a little bit harder to make all that water because you need line of fire to all of the squares, unlike Smoke Cloud. So,
okay.
I mean, he's obviously an incredible figure. I mean, he's Bishop, but not a Prime, right? So.
Right. And this is the other thing is I believe this is the figure that opens up the Mimic play and a few other Primes to X-Men, so that people aren't necessarily bound to Bishop if they don't want to be. I've hyped Bishop for the longest time, and I know some people will say too, the downside of this is like, what about the Molecule Man? The Molecule Man, Dark Logos, he just comes and ruins it. I'm like, yes, Molecule Man does cause some problems, but there are maps that do have printed water terrain in which you would still be able to operate, and I don't think there's much Molecule Man could do about that. So I feel like this figure is top tier. I think this is going to be a meta changing figure. All right. Let's see. Let me go back down to the list here. Next up is on the list is Abigail Brand. I think this figure also is potentially a lot stronger than I think a lot of people would believe. First off, Abigail has protecting the Earth from for humans and mutants alike. Leadership when establishing theme team characters on your starting force with the X-Men keyword gain sword keyword. So congratulations, X-Men gets to be a part of another keyword.
I don't understand why they think that X-Men need more tools.
It's
already one of the better keywords, and it's like, oh, let's give them Recruiter, let's give them this, let's give them like Deadpool. Like what?
Yeah,
like
you are now Sword. Congratulations.
They get to play with the best figure in Disney Plus now. I'm very excited about it.
Darcy. Yeah.
No, Monica.
Oh yeah. Monica's also good too. Darcy.
And
She
Tyler. If you're listening, you're still very wrong about her.
what? What? That Darcy? What he said? Darcy was bad.
No, he said Monica was bad.
Okay. All right. Personal teleportation device. Facing teleport when Abigail uses it and moves 4 squares or less after resolution, she may make an attack. So again, she's on 11-3 and 6 range with shield. Like that's pretty good. Like then I heard the Sentient Worlds Observation and Response Department. I had the Sentient Worlds Observation and Response Department. Friendly characters within range that can use X-Men team ability can use shield team ability. So yeah, I think she is going to be top tier. You're giving.
I mean, yeah, she's obviously incredibly good. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know what you expect me to add. I mean, I hear people talking about her being like soft defensively. I feel like 5 clicks with toughness is reasonable. Like
for 40 points, she is a 3rd tier attacker mega support. What did you expect?
Yeah.
Like
they wanted her to be 10 clicks instead.
I guess points. For 20 points. I
don't know. Sometimes I feel like heroclix players aren't going to be happy until WizKids actually prints an Infinity Gauntlet Thanos that actually says that you just win the game automatically. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess. So yeah, I feel like again, save your dollary dues or your trinkets or your whatever for it. Trade the cow and everything else for one. All right, next up, I'm gonna let you talk about Hope first. Hope at 40. We're gonna talk about Hope at 40 points because that's the dial to play. So go ahead. You now have the floor, sir. Feel free to elaborate on this lovely piece.
Oh, you didn't set me up how I wanted you to. I wanted you to go through what the figure did, and then I was going to say, yeah, she's pretty good.
Okay.
I mean, I'm about to say something that you can cut out of the show if you want, but I am willing to bet actual money that she will see Final Table at Worlds this year.
Wow. That is.
That's obviously an incredibly good figure. I mean, she does all the support stuff. Like as a baseline, before you go into any of her traits, or before you go into her pick a power trait, she already is 40 points for stealth, TK, enhancement, leadership, yes. And for what it's worth, mastermind, that's protected pulse wave. And then she has basically pick any 2 powers. She has the Avengers keyword, so it's like I'll play a second Sakari and Iron Man, no problem. Seems good.
She has Avengers and X-Men, so she can be on either swap.
Yep. Yeah, she has, let's count, 1, 2, 3, 4 very good keywords. 5 if you include Latveria. Like,
yeah, she can be. She can be on Latveria team too.
I don't think I need to explain why this figure is good, do I? Like, she's just obviously incredible. Like, not to mention the fact that in this set, we get tarot cards. And there is nothing that's better with tarot cards than Pick a Power.
Yes. And truth be told, if I could have you back on a later date when we have all the tarot cards, we could talk about it because that's a whole show. That's a whole.
I mean, not to mention the fact that we have an Avengers set around the corner. So like,
yeah. She, in terms of utility, she's there. Like, so I'm willing to say, and just for the overview, she has the Omega level power mimicry, which allows her free to choose a character, not a friendly character or opposing, just a character within range and line of fire, and 2 standard powers they can use. Hope Summers can use the chosen powers until your next turn. This is what
and because people keep on asking for some reason, it doesn't matter what the source of the power is. It's not printed. It's just if they can use it, she can use it.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's so confusing, but people want to overcomplicate things. I don't know.
Yeah, because it just says
like she can. She could theoretically copy a power that Mimic is mimicking. Like, it's pretty
Yeah.
good.
So I will say, like, just automatically, like, she's a mega support, a top tier secondary attacker. Like, she's a lot, like, for what she does. So I would definitely say it's one of those figures, like, as a must play for X-Men or Avengers. And even the other Hope with her is also sort of dumb, but whew.
I mean, it is worth noting that the 100-point line is never going to see play, but you only need the 40-point one.
If you never know, folks are weird. Like, folks are weird. I'll just leave it at that. All right,
Yeah.
let's go talk about Arcade. I think Arcade is fun. I don't think he's broken, but I think he does sort of take you back to that other Arcade. Like, oh man, I'm not limited to map, but I get to do some cool stuff. Like, all right. Like, I think people are going to play Arcade just to try to get some extra force out there with the killer robots. But again, the killer robots are not autonomous, which sort of sets the killer robots back. You get the masterminds, you get the willpower. He can get friendly bystanders within range that are considered adjacent. Now, here's the question here. If I have bystanders generated by another effect, would they count as friendly bystanders? And that's my only question.
For his defense power?
Yeah. So not the killer
Yeah, he
robot.
just checks. Yeah, he just checks if they're friendly and a bystander. Yeah. It could
Oh,
be
okay. Well,
literally anything.
yeah. Then yeah, that can be done with one of the swords that makes bystanders for free that don't cost anything.
Oh.
So yeah, I mean there's some silliness there. Leadership, and you also succeed. You may generate a killer robot bystander instead, and it can use autonomous this turn. Now it's the one. Now for people, you're going to be like, so all of them? No. Just the one that you generate that turn has autonomous. After that, it loses it. So overall, like, I think he's fun. He doesn't have a max on his robots.
Nope.
Oh, okay. So no, he might actually be a lot better than I thought. So yeah. So there's Arcade. Do you have any comments on Arcade?
I think he's really close, but I don't think he's quite there.
Ooh. Wow. Okay.
I'm not trying to be contentious here.
I wasn't expecting that. I thought you'd be like, he would be acceptable in thy sight. Oh wow. Okay. All right.
No, I think that he's a very good HeroClix figure. I just think that he is not quite there because, I mean, so if you win, you almost want to lose map more, which is weird, right? Like, so assuming you lose map, which is like not good either.
Mhm.
Like, yeah, you get to make a couple of them as a free, but like adjacent. So like, I just don't see how Arcade is going to actually make his robots attack people unless he gets like carried and does the free. I don't know.
Okay.
And I also feel like that because they're not autonomous except for that one way. I don't think they're very action efficient, especially if he has to power to generate them if you win map. So I don't think the action economy is there.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, if you want, yeah. So that was my detailed answer as to why he's almost.
That is fair. That is fair. So here is where we're going to maybe do things a little bit out of order, and that's because
One of the stupidest HeroClix figures I have seen in a very long time.
Okay, so I know folks are going to be like, "Hold up, wait, what's going on?" Okay, so Mad Jim Jaspers is not on Realms, and it's easy for me to forget. And so before we even before I even have a chance to forget or anything close to that, we're going to talk about Mad Jim Jaspers and the dumbness that he is. So Mad Jim Jaspers. Yeah. So let's go into it. The Crooked Market, free, choose an equipped friendly character within range and line of fire. Replace their equipped equipment with another equipment of equal or less points from your sideline. Now, so your equipment is taking up your sideline space. Power. Once per game, choose a friendly unequipped character within range and line of fire, and choose an equipment from your sideline. Equip the chosen character with the chosen equipment. Shifting stalls, super senses, barrier. Barrier is free, but only to generate 2 markers. So
Why is there a heroclix figure who's 35 points? You can generate something for free that's 30. Like, why?
Reasons.
I think, again, this is one of the stupidest things they printed in quite some time.
Okay, so
I'm impressed. I'm actually impressed that they managed to make a Prime that can even come close to Destroyer. Like,
oh yeah, because I thought Destroyer was like the end all be all.
Good job printing something that is somehow comparable to I am going to play a extra 100 points in a 300-point game.
It can be more than that. So first off is this is your sideline spot for an equipment. You have 9. Mad Jim Jaspers can bring out 9 pieces of equipment. Because the first time I read it, I thought it said like 3 or something like that, and I was like, "Oh yeah, that's reasonable." Because I interposed Eitri over in my mind because Eitri has 3. This doesn't have 3. Okay, that's the first thing. The second thing that grabs me is I can take my Exosword character, which will pay 5 points to get my sword. And because the sword is priced 10 points, I can exchange it with a 10-point item. Because that's how much the item is actually worth. Doesn't matter how much I paid for it. So I can functionally get a free 10 points of utility. Okay, just right there. Just right there. And the fact that he can do barrier, standard barrier, then do barrier as free as well is just dumb. He also perplexes and makes chilies and fries. Like, this is a problem.
You know who I can't wait to play with him in Silver? His best friend, Trader.
Oh yeah, Trader. When you thought the shenanigans couldn't get worse. Well, welcome back, Trader, to the arena. So this is one of those questions that I would, if I had a chance of sitting a lead game designer down, which I know I can't because they don't exist. They're mystical things like fairies and leprechaun gold. If I could sit one of them down, I'd be like, what? So what were you on when you made Mad Jim Jaspers? Like, what was he supposed to do? Because
he was obviously supposed to sell boosters. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, like because there is no other reason. There is.
When was the last time they made a figure that was so obviously intended to be high level? Like, I don't know.
I mean, A was, in my opinion, but
that's fair.
And again, now I will say this: we do have like future sight glasses on. If I were to like look through and maybe go back a couple, in each set, I could say like Sarkarian Iron Man, like like I could probably just like glance and just like pick stuff out. But yeah, like this is the Mad Jim Jaspers is by far one of the biggest problems that's coming to heroclix near you. And I know some people will say, but he's not on the good keywords, Dark Logos. Like, did you see Cosmic? Did you see Cosmic? He can be an Avenger. He can be Latvarian.
Yeah, I think if he wasn't a Prime and didn't have that trait, he would still be incredibly playable.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, 35 points for Perplex and Stupid Barrier, and phasing and incap. Like, he is sort of on par with Molecule Man, Low Dial Molecule Man. And that's fine. But this...
I mean, why not both? Now Molecule Man makes minimum 3. He makes minimum 2. 5 minimum barrier turn seems pretty good to me. I don't know.
On Latvarian, then turns to Avengers.
Yeah. I mean, if I'm not playing at Worlds, but one of my lists is Avengers, Latveria, whatever, with Molecule Man.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So, again, this is a figure that's almost made me quit the game. I'm not kidding.
I will never play Silver Age because of this figure.
Yeah.
There is no world where I'm subjecting myself to an environment where he can make cosmic cubes. I'm not interested.
Hey, buddy! It's not only did I make cosmic cubes, I make infinity gauntlets too. Yeah, let's have fun with that. Let's have fun with that. Yeah. So I'm gonna say this. This proves, and I'm gonna say this using my Dark Logos vision and my psychic powers. There are more objects coming. They have made this.
I mean, don't we know that for a fact in the Batman set?
Well, I haven't even looked at that because I know the Teen Titans
I
Go.
thought we did, didn't they say? Because we had the solicits. I thought they said objects.
Wasn't it Teen Titans Go is the next set or whatever?
Batman team up that has Teen Titans Go.
Okay, I just saw the Teen Titans Go preview in one of my Facebook groups. That's why I thought.
Yeah, I'm just taking a very quick look at the Clicks Nexus Facebook page because that's where you can get all the information. So, but I'm pretty sure, yeah, that the Batman team up set at the end of the year has equipment. So
okay, so right there, we know just automatically, like they are setting it up for you to be super gobsmacked with equipment. Do you want to get that all black Necro sword, but you're afraid that the homie across the way is going to come jack it before you can ever use it? Here you go, Magim Jaspers.
Hold on. No, sorry, buddy. You're gonna have to sit down for this one.
Oh, what?
Are you sitting down?
I am sitting down. That's how I record all my shows.
Okay, I really need you to sit down for this one, though. I am looking at the solicit on clicksnexus.com. It says this set contains 57 objects.
All right. This is
so I'll see you later.
Yeah, Dark Logos has left the chat. Okay. All right, so let's go back to our set review. Wow. Next up is X-23. I think she's good. From my perspective, I think she's highly playable. She heals at the beginning of your turn and at the end of your turn. So you're fundamentally potentially healing 2. She has a stop click. And yeah, I think that's awesome.
Ooh, I'm going to have to hard disagree with you on this one.
Okay, go ahead.
I mean, it's a 90-point figure that makes 1 attack in a turn. Like, okay.
She has flurry on some of her clicks, but yeah.
I mean, okay, then she doesn't have her charge, so, and that's... Like, if she had flurry and that speed power, I think she would be considerable. But I honestly... I'm not going to say never, because I feel like there has to be some matchup where having a completely unkillable figure is good, and she has X-Men. But like, you're not main forcing this without swap, are you? Like, come on.
So
if she didn't have X-Men, you cannot tell me that you think she would ever see play if she had no X-Men.
I think she would. Now here's my caveat with that. I think in most situations, if you're playing her, she has a piece of equipment that is giving her an additional piece of advantage. I think that would be the key thing. So if we do inevitably get something that does give out flurry, because that inevitably has to be in the meta for some reason and item wise, I think that will be there for her. But I also think the other issue that comes in from my perspective of why we'll see her is the fact that she can just run and then heal up and stall out a game. And you can't put it past a player in competitive to realize like they're up, it's a bloodbath, things are getting bad, there's 2 figures left, and this Wolverine's one of them, and she's like, I'm out. And then she just dips.
Yeah,
then,
this is definitely not a figure that you want to be having problems with in the end game.
Right.
For sure.
Right. So I think...
No, I get where you're coming from. I just think that, I don't know, you're paying a lot of points to get there.
Oh, no.
Mind you, I love X-23 as a character, and I'm extremely excited to play this in a casual game. And I think she's extremely well designed, but I just don't think she's a competitive figure.
Okay.
Fundamentally.
All right, so let's go ahead and move to our next figure on my list. Here is Summoner. Okay, I think Summoner is interesting. I wish there was another way to get Summoner's paws out than having to hit the stop click. Other than that, I think it's pretty cool.
I hate disagreeing with you on principle, but I think this is one of the most ignorable things I've seen in the set. Like, I don't know, 120 points to make, again, that makes 1 attack. Like, okay, you're gonna phasing attack, you're gonna phasing, and you're gonna outwit me for 120 points. Like, I don't see why I'm not extremely happy to see this across the table, to be brutally honest.
Okay, that's fair. I think I know it comes with a sword. I don't know if it's the sword that makes the pogs or not.
Give me a quick second.
I'm not sure if it's Summoner.
.com. He comes with the Colony Sword, which is the one that gives Blades Exploit and then increases the damage dealt on Blades.
Okay, no. So there is the one that gives the pog.
You do need to buy him for the sword. So he's technically not worthless, but yeah.
Okay. Where on Clicks Nexus does it state, or does it when you go into the sword? Does it show?
You have to click the sword unit, and then it'll say who it comes with.
Okay. So I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be brutally honest. I don't hardly ever use Clicks Nexus. I just never really used it. So, yay. I mean, again, that's a nice little added bit of information. It's sort of like your brand.
I'm not trying to force the meme. I am legitimately looking because that information is only on Clicks Nexus and is not on the sword units, I don't think.
Oh, no. It's not. I mean, that's one thing that Realms has been lacking on in years in terms of like where the items come from. Because they used to be below the actual figure and then they just put them with the set number. So that's a whole nother subject. We're not going to turn this into the Realms bashing segment. So let's go to the next figure because again, we're going to go ahead and bypass Summoner, which bit surprised. I'm going to talk about Redroot the Forest. I think I think it's good. I think it's actually good.
Okay, tell me on it then.
It has a lot of utility. All right, so you have Redroot, the Forest. You can get him a sword, which I think is sort of useful, but you're more likely not paying for a sword ever.
He comes with the worst sword. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, again, he can have any sword that he wants. He doesn't have to play the worst sword.
Yeah, for sure. But it is a matter of fact that he comes with the worst sword.
Okay.
Just for context.
All right, so then you have Twisting, Weaving, Growing. When Redroot the Forest uses Smoke Cloud, after resolution, you may generate a Twisting Vine bystander. So you get the bystander, and you have a max 3 in a square with a hindering terrain marker generated during that action. So then he has free, choose one, generate in a square within 6 squares in line of fire, a hindering terrain marker or a Twisting Vine. So he can potentially, generate 2 Twisting Vines in a turn. And just automatically, just like poof poof right there. So that's tie up. That's all goodness. He has plasticity stealth. He gets free place Red Root the Forest in a square of hindering terrain within 6 squares in line of fire. So he has, that out of the shadows Batman goodness. And when you look at his Pogs have plasticity. They're 0 move. And they have a unique modifier. If a friendly character named Red Root the Forest is within 3 squares, adjacent opposing characters modify attack and defense by -1. So he gives a debuff to their defense. He ties them up with these Pogs. He's able to bounce around. He has a decent attack. He has exploit. He has willpower. He's able to just, for free, he could just make, a hindering terrain marker. And poof, automatically just there. Like, I think he is viable. I think he has a lot of utility.
Okay. Everything you just said to me came down to you want an emotional modifier.
You don't get a tie-up with emotional modifier, though. Like,
does it count as tie-up if it has 10 defense?
I mean, yeah, because they're wasting the action on it. That's going to just be back next turn. Like,
okay. I mean, and if my opponent generates one and takes an action with it, that's a waste of an action, too. He's 60 points. I don't know. Like, I'm not forcing it to argue with you because we've agreed a lot, but I think that you're just...
That's fine. So
I also, as a matter of principle, hate Mastermind that's not top dial. So, like, I hate mid dial Mastermind. So.
Oh, because it's not guaranteed. That's fair. Like late dial Mastermind is you're already dead.
Okay, I would play him for 40 points. That's the best you're gonna get out of me.
Wow, that's a steep discount. But okay, all right. Let's keep it moving. Our next figure that is up on our list is Annihilation. All right, Annihilation.
Oh, I'm glad that we're skipping. I'm glad that we're going straight to Annihilation. Except I don't know why we're talking about Annihilation. But keep going.
Okay, so Annihilation. I think Annihilation is our first chase. I think. Yes, it's Annihilation the first because Red Root was our last super rare. So Annihilation. So again, Sword Bearer, leadership. When she uses it, friendly characters with the Araco keyword with the 3 squares are considered to be adjacent to her. So that's pretty good. At the beginning of your turn, generate a Daemon bystander. So you just get those. So like turn 1, you just get one, and they pop out, and they start to do your bidding. Then you have the Mask of Annihilation. When Annihilation is KO'd, choose a friendly character for the rest of the game. That character is considered to have the Daemon Bystander printed on its card and the Command the Hordes trait. I think that's interesting. It's sort of a baton pass, to quote Pokemon, in which you're giving off her Pog generation. And she has a decent, for the points and with getting the sword, I think she's pretty good. And the Daemons are... charge, 11 attack, 17 defense, exploit. They have Quake, so I think though that's pretty good. Having 3 of those on the field is pretty good. Okay.
Oh man, are you sure that you're not like trying to like troll me or something? Because like I think this figure's terrible.
All right, go ahead, go into it.
I mean, there's kind of this problem where the number of actions you take in a turn is limited, and I don't see an autonomous symbol on these guys. So,
oh no, that's fine.
I just think she's incredibly action inefficient, and I think that she's also too expensive for how good the Pogs are. Like they're fine, but like 70 points, fine. Like yes, I get that she makes them automatically, whatever, but like. They still have to get places and make attacks. So, like, I don't know.
No, that's fair. I look at it.
And also, for what it's worth, She is incredibly. I can be shot in the faceable. Like
She doesn't have any evasion. And I think that's the one key thing that we've sort of seen in the set. There isn't a figure that has damage reduction and evasion.
Okay, I just figured out a way that you make her playable. You have to add Mastermind to her trait.
I mean, that's possible. I mean, I see what you're saying with that. But, I mean, the problem I would come back is if every Pog generator had Mastermind, I think there would be...
I'm not saying it would be a good idea. I'm just saying if you wanted to make this figure playable, that is the best way to do it.
Okay.
But...
I think there is potential here. I think the main thing that, from my perspective...
What are you... Okay, so tell me what's this team that you have with her?
No, I'm going to be honest, because for me, when I'm definitely doing the review standpoint, I don't have a team. But what I am looking at is the following. Okay, what can I do with her that is functionally decent? Like, first off is, by being in a melee situation, I force a threat onto my opponent. Because a handful of characters start with invincible. Most of them have invulnerability or impervious or toughness. And so having a character that just drops on top of them being like, I'm 11 for 3 exploit. That is a thing. We also have more than enough empowers out there where that 11 for 3 is definitely going to be higher than that. And then I have a perplex. So that turns into a 12. If I'm looking at synergizing off of the Pogs. But I'm also looking at them as tie-up. I'm looking at them as zoning when we're looking at more condensed maps, even though I know like more of the maps that are modern legal are a little bit more open. But there are some maps that do have some choke points. What was like negative zone. You can restrict movement on non-flyers and non-colossals or giant-sized characters with the Pogs. And so... It becomes easy to strictly view the game of like, oh, look, I have hyper taxis and I have flyers and all this other stuff. But when you start looking and progressing through gameplay tactics and viewpoints, you could just say is, if I am looking at the engine of my team, of my opponent's team, and the engine of my opponent's team is mobility, if I cripple that mobility, then they're stuck. Or if I would call them their one-way teams. The opponent just wants to rush up and throw dice. They're not thinking in 3 dimensions. They're not thinking about going back. They're not thinking about retreating. The average heroclix player isn't thinking about that. They're thinking about running up on you and throwing hands. So in that situation, having a renewable force each turn, where I have 3 guys that are constantly spawning and spawning and spawning, while I only can get 1 at a time, that's fine. Now, if I get energy exploded and, I lose 2 or 3 of them, that's fine. If I'm not dead, I'm just going to generate another one the next turn. If I have retaliation...
they're not dying to energy explosion because they have invincible too, right?
Oh, they have invincible... Okay, I'll take that back.
Unless they crit.
Yeah. So, yeah, they have invincible too. My bad. I overlooked that. I skipped. But the mindset that I have with that is that I can tie it in, you're talking about Mastermind. I can tie it into Mastermind fodder. It's like, okay, I'll take damage. I'm going to Mastermind to this Pog. I'm going to get another one anyway the next turn. So
I just don't see myself paying a quarter of my build for this figure.
Well, and so here's the other thing because we're going to talk about Merlin. And I'm going to talk about this too because I believe this is the next problem that heroclix is about to encounter. We have action creep. And so once we start introducing action creep, the argument...
I don't know what that means.
Okay, so action creep means is me getting above 4 actions. Or better yet, is me getting above 4 actions is action creep. So we're entering into action creep. There are currently off the top.
So you're saying you think that spirit of the game is a problem? I understand.
No. It's not just spirit of the game. It's not.
I mean, but like we have that. We have Merlin.
We have Cyclops. We have Cyclops.
Okay.
So once we start going into action creep, the idea of generating more and more force, whether it's autonomous or not, starts to become viable. Now, again, I'm not saying this makes this figure the cream of the crop, cue the memes. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that when we start looking at what is being presented to us, action economy, or saying like, oh, I can only do so many actions in a turn, or I'm only limited to 4 actions, I think it starts to become less and less of a legitimate argument due to what is available. Now, Spirit of the Game is the most egregious due to its point cost, and it's not unique. Now,
I think it is unique.
Is it unique? Because I haven't gotten one. I looked at. Let me check again, because again, I'm one of those, like, I'm talking outside of my mouth.
Flip Nexus says unique.
Okay, it is unique. All right, so you only can have one.
I see a silver ring on the render.
Okay, so because the last time I looked at it, the text of it. So I never got. See,
I am literally not at home. I am literally not at home. I'm in a different topic.
So yeah. So on Realms it's green. So if it is silver, I wouldn't know. So I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt and say it is unique. Okay. Even if Spirit of the Game is unique, I could play Spirit of the Game and I could play Cyclops. That puts me
according to the copy I found on eBay, it is unique.
Okay, all right, cool. All right, so I have Spirit of the Game and I have Cyclops. I'm at 6 actions. Until you remove either of those game elements, I am 3 more actions than the standard player, and I'm 2 more actions up than the standard competitive player. Within 2 turns, I have gotten a free turn. Within 3 turns, I am now exceeding in the amount of actions and plays that I have. It's no different than like with American football. With the more time on the clock I have the ball, the more that I'm able to do, the more likely I'm able to win the game statistically. So in terms of like when I say coming back to the figure, not to Annihilation, there are enough mechanics, if I so choose, so that action economy starts to become moot, which I believe is a future problem. We're not there yet. We're on the edge of that frontier. We just opened that portal. But I do believe that is going to be a problem, that action plus action is going to be limited to 1 plus action effect, or at max +2. It has to be. Or else this game is about to go full stupid, because there's going to be more characters that are going to have plus action in the game. And then when they're all teamed up together, you're able to do an absurd amount in 1 turn. And the game was never designed for you to take 4, 5, 6 actions in 1 turn. And the times that that's happened in the game have been the most broken times in the game. And that's why we have free action overhaul. But that's my retort. I understand when we're looking purely at the cost, I can see the problem. But I think when I'm looking at the actual zoning, I'm looking at mastermind fodder, I'm looking at an infinite renewable resource. I'm not limited. They only can be spawned once. I'm not dealing with any of that. I'm dealing with something that's coming back each turn. I think there's potential there. So let's go to the next one. Blink. I'm going to say it. I'm going to come out and say it. I wish I had other Blink. I'd rather have the previous Blink. So I will leave it at that. What's your thoughts on Blink?
I mean, as a Blink fan, I pretty much agree with you, but I do appreciate the clear effort that was put into this figure. Like, this figure has 3 very interesting text-based powers, and yeah.
The portals are interesting, but
Blink without passengers is just wrong.
Yeah.
Like, objectively wrong. Like, I'm sorry, but like, no.
No, I agree.
Like, I get that she can carry 1 because she's a flyer, but like,
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I'm personally excited to play her for casual, but I pretty much agree with you.
Yeah, so here's my biggest problem with Blink is the Blink portals are nice. You reduce me to 3. So I to a 3 range, I get it, and I can shoot from the portal marker, but then it removes the portal marker once it's done, and I can only generate a maximum of 3, and so. Yeah, I can sort of zone my opponent, but if my opponent knows only one attack is coming through, then yeah, like it's not that good.
I think this is a very well designed and balanced heroclix piece, but that's not what we're interested in.
Yeah. All right. So let's. I'm gonna bring up Saturn 9. I don't think she's broken. I think she is balanced. I think she is still in Funland. But yeah, I think that she's not, she's like right at that edge of competitive, like just right to the edge. And I don't think she crosses over. So she has the card is drawn, the corpse reborn, free, generate a Captain Britain Corps bystander in a square within 6 squares in line of fire. That's fun. That's gangster, because it's just like within 6 squares line of fire. You should be like bloop, you're there. Then you have Law May She Reign, Mastermind. When Saturn 9 uses it, she may instead choose a friendly character with Captain Britain in their name within 6 squares. So you can get in your other Captain Britons and you can mastermind to them, including the Pogs. So there's that. Then you have Dragonfire, Psychic Blast, improved targeting characters adjacent, range, choose an opposing character within range, and along a direct line of fire, make a range attack targeting that character and all other characters occupying squares along that line of fire. Instead of normal damage, each hit character is dealt Saturn 9's printed damage. I think that's pretty cool. But most characters aren't going to be in like a straight line, so the chances of getting that to go off is really hard. Omniversal Majestrix, Leadership, Perplex. Once per turn, you may reroll a die roll by a character within range, including one die of an attack roll. So you could just boop reroll that. It's manageable manageable prop. The Captain Brenner Corps Pogs have 10 attack, blades, and toughness. So like the Pogs are not as good as like Annihilation's Pogs, but they're okay. And she has decent values. And she could just mastermind to people within range. So her fodder can't just be EE'd real easily. She can't be outwitted, in any standard way. So I think like her price is just too dang high. I think that's her big downfall. It's just her price is too dang high. So, all right.
I wish she was 100 points and had max 1.
That would be actually pretty good.
I think the 150 point cost is absurd for a 6-click character. Like, she should be like 9 clicks for 150.
Okay. Whew. Wow.
Am I wrong though? Like, I just feel like she's overcosted. Like, not competitive overcosted. I think she's overcosted. Like, I'm not playing her in casual, I don't think. Maybe.
I would play her in sealed. Sealed team.
Oh yeah, she looks incredibly annoying in sealed, for sure.
Yeah, like, I think she's a winner. But yeah, like, she hits the edge, because if her Pogs were as strong as the Daemons, then I'd be like, yeah. Because she generates them as a free action each turn, and they can be placed within her range. That is within 6 squares. Sorry, not within her range, within 6 squares. That allows her a lot of flexibility. But yeah, because they could just be like, bloop, you're there, now start swinging. Or she can running shot, do her thing, and then like, bloop, you're there, start swinging. And then they charge on in. And
yeah, like, these are all very good game effects. But it's just, what is that point value?
Yeah. All right, next up is Merlin. Now, this is the big boy this is where I feel like it's going to go down. Merlin is at 150. No one's going to play him at that. No one's playing him at that. 50-point Merlin. Let's go. The Holy Republic of Fae. During each player's turn, that player can't give their characters free actions if they've already given a number of free actions equal to their action total that turn. That's nice because he starts putting the lid on those free actions. Then Invincible, free. Roll a d6, 4 through 6, heal Merlin 1 click, or modify Merlin's defense by +1 until your next turn. Not bad, better because he's going to be with defend bodies. Like that's all I'm going to say. He's going to be with defend bodies. He's never going to leave a bodyguard. Okay. Then the Mercy of the Grand Hierophant, perplex, action total +1. So, dude has Invincible. Dude puts a lid on free action. He's Mystic. He's Power Cosmic. He has Invincible. And he's giving you an action total +1. Like, 7 range in cap. Dual targets. I see him making waves. What's your thoughts?
Firstly, it really bothers me that he has 2 free actions. Like, that just doesn't seem like good design. I don't know. I think that he is going to be played well by some good players, but I don't think that he's a piece I would recommend to, just anybody. I think that you have to have a very, very good grasp on your action economy and your tempo and all that stuff to play him. I think that he's going to be a great tool for the right player.
Yeah, I will say this though. This is the part that I think is the biggest deal of why I'm more concerned about him is the fact that he gives you that action total +1. That is what I feel pushes him over the edge. If everything else he did is good. I mean, and you would have to be rule savvy to use the Holy Republic of Fae. Because functionally, you could tell your opponent, like, you can only use, let's just say they don't have a leadership. You only can use 3 perplexes or outwits, or a combination of the 2. Or, some other game effects that generate free actions that just can't happen. It's like, oh, look.
I mean, at the very least, even if he never sees play, I think that you can't build without at least considering him. So I think he's relevant no matter what.
Yeah, I think once he finds an integration into like an Avengers team, I think that's when you're going to see some major problems with him showing up. I think he's going to just come in and be like, "Hey, guy, I just killed your leadership. Now it's going to suck for you." So yeah, like I think there's some major issues that are going to be coming down the pipe. Next up, Professor X. This is the last chase. Professor X is, in my opinion, they're trying to recreate old Professor X and then like calm him the hell down. He has a couple of things that I think that are actually really useful. The first is his rally, which is free remove Professor X rally dice to choose a friendly character with a shared keyword within range and line of fire. This turn, Professor X may count range and draw a line of fire from the chosen character and use his printed combat values when doing so. So, no Kamehameha, through, the upfront Nightcrawler as it was back in the day. But this is still pretty good because he has a decent range. So he can extend his range about, I think, like if you edge it out right, it's like 13. Then he has forging the Cerebro Sword. Once per game, when an opposing equipment would be KO'd, you may instead equip it to a friendly character. If you do, that character can use Blaze Claw's Fangs this turn. So, yeah. So not only... Huh?
You said this turn.
Yeah, this turn. Yeah. So you get the equipment and you get Blaze Claw's Fangs for that turn. You know what? That part may be a little bit more limiting than I thought. On the Blaze Claw's Fangs part. Then no more. Now this is the part I like. Outwit, when he uses it, the duration does not end until he uses it again or this power is lost. And I think that's the big one. Because he could just keep someone on lockdown. And that makes him worth his 75 points. I don't think he's worth his low points. That's just my opinion. I don't think he's worth his low points. What's your thoughts?
I think he is only appropriately costed.
Okay.
And I think he was clearly balanced because it intended to be balanced. Otherwise, why would he use his printed combat values? So
again, they're just trying not to.
It seems like they wanted to do GSX again, but balance it, which I think they did a good job of. But I just think that he's too expensive. Like, I don't think that trait is. His trait literally says, instead of scoring points, don't score points. Like, what? Like, why would I choose to not score points? I don't know.
I mean, there is the equip, but I get you. All right. So that's the end of the chases. Then we go into the box set, and then we have legacy cards. I'm going to have notable mention on the box set stuff of what I found notable out of the box set. And this is just more of my personal note. Cable, the 103B, I think is actually useful because he can disengage like as a free action. Just be able to place cable in an adjacent square. And he also has utility powers and decent stats for 40 points. I think he's actually super efficient for what he does. Next up in that box set is Issaka the Unbeaten for 40 points, hypersonic speed, outwitter, with improved movement, ignores characters, enhancement, and outwit on the end dial is not bad. It's not super overpowered, but it's decent. Death and Summoner, both of them from the box set are pretty good. Let's go into Fabian Cortez. He is our legacy figure. So we go into our legacy dials. Fabian Cortez. I think he has the potential to be like the razor's edge of mission points. Like he's one of the few that I feel like he gets close to being consistent. Not like guaranteed, but he's close. And he offers a lot for 45 points, even if you don't use his overload. So that's my thought process. Is his overload is nice, but even if you're not using it as a standard figure, you're getting empower enhancement, leadership. I think he's useful. What's your thoughts?
I mean, I had read the set before when I said that mission points were still not viable.
I mean, even
I'm surprised I got a laugh out of you for the same joke, but okay.
No.
Honestly, though, I mean, yeah, he's a reasonable support piece otherwise. So yeah.
Yeah.
So the problem is that we just got the Cypher for 25.
Fair. That is fair. So here's the thing I looked at. Going back to what you said about the mission points of not having mission points and then not having another sort of avenue. I sort of felt like Fabian was one of the first other like mission point figures that sort of says, hey, if you want to, battle it out, you can. And we can still win by battling it out. Whereas I'm dedicating, a bunch of actions and whatnot to getting my mission points done. And so the fact that he is this really good hyper support where I could give any of my characters, including Pogs, like +3 attack. And it's just like, that happened. I don't care if my Pog dies. Like, I think like if he is if I'm able to put him with let's say Saturn 9, for example, we'll say she's still overcosted, but to make one of those Pogs a 13 attack with blades. So what if it dies? So what if it dies? It had a 13 attack with blades. Like, let's go. So I think that's useful.
I don't like variants to begin with, and this figure literally says if you roll badly, you don't get to do the thing you want, which is kill. Why is it so hard to kill my own character? Like, why can I fail to kill my own character? I don't know.
Okay, so that's something too. Like, okay, so if you're coming from the perspective of, again, I'm trying to make mission points, then yeah. Then I should be able to.
The solution to mission points was not an effect with variants. Like,
it's consistency.
I don't know.
I think that's an interesting thing to look at. But okay, like I said, from this, I think he's a really good support. And if you want to go another path with the mission points, you can. But I think he's still a solid support for what he does. Next figure that's on my list is let's go ahead and talk about Leech. I'll let you start off because he's dumb.
I mean, letting Adam pick a figure was a mistake. I don't know.
That's the commentary. Do not let Adam Friedman make heroclix.
I mean, look what happened. I mean, do we have to talk about him? Like, he's so obviously stupid. Like Lockjaw can carry him with a bunch of characters and then place him adjacent to whatever, and then just not have everybody else adjacent to him. He has 2 swap keywords. Like,
yeah, he has Fantastic Four
next. And you know what else is going to happen?
What?
Somebody who's very good at heroclix, whose name starts with PJ, is going to figure out a way to make this work to your benefit. Like, turning off Black Swan's defense powers. This is just, one of the best figures in the set. And somebody better than me is going to figure out something really stupid.
Okay, so in terms of, and I mean, that's something that is very important, because if stuff that comes in at the end of the turn that may be, not beneficial.
Oh, I mean, immediately he lets you carry characters with Battle Fury. Like, that's good.
Yeah, because technically when you initiate the move, they didn't have Battle Fury.
Yeah, because you move and then you place all at the same time, so...
Yeah, but then when you place, they're no longer adjacent. They have Battle Fury again. That's a very excellent analysis. Okay,
that is an incredible compliment coming from you. Thank you.
Yeah, again, definitely not something I thought of. I think when you bring up the fact of, okay, when we're getting rid of debilitating powers or disadvantageous powers, that's something that I hadn't examined. But definitely.
Yes. So sorry, but the only problem with that is that most of those things are just traits, right? Like Passenger Zero is a trait. Like, I don't know, or like random like debuffs. Like, those are usually traits. So I don't know what the use case is really for the turning off friendly powers besides the Battle Fury and whatever. But like, there's something there. I just don't know what it is.
I mean, you could lose Earthbound Neutralize too. Definitely, if you were granted that some sort of effect, but yeah, like there, definitely, like there are some probably outlier cases that I know people will love to spend their time finding solutions to. So, okay, let's move to the next figure, Iceman. Iceman, we talked about this before the show. This figure is broken. This is actually broken. So ice slides all over Central Park. When Iceman moves, after resolution, he may make a close attack targeting a character whose square he moved through. and didn't target with an attack this action. If he hits with that attack, you may give the hit character an Ice Wall token if it doesn't already have one, removing any on other characters. Need to read. If an effect, including clearing, would remove action tokens from a character with the Ice Wall token, remove the Ice Wall token instead. So, yeah, that's sort of dumb. Because like once you start adding in cap, this just gets dumb. He gets regeneration, toughness, and barrier as free at the end of the dial, but again, guaranteed. You're not really guaranteed to get to that. Chill out when Iceman attacks. Give each hit character an action token, and there we go. All you have to do is find a way to give him in cap, and
I have never seen a figure that more definitively proved that there's no point formula than this one.
Yeah.
He came out 6 years ago, 5 years, or around 6 years ago or so.
Yeah.
Just over 6 years ago. And now his cost is literally cut in half. Like, what?
And if you watched Worlds, was it Derek that played it? When
it was Derek, yeah.
Yeah, when Derek played this, it was like heroclix like Mozart being played with what he did with this Iceman. And it required, for what this figure does now, he required like a resource and a couple other figures built around him to do what this figure does for less points. And I'm just sitting here dumbfounded, like, all I have to do is find a way of giving this figure in cap, and I permanently lock down a character. That's all I have to do is give Iceman in cap, and your figure does not get to play. As long as I hit, and I will hit. I will do everything possible to hit. You will blow through all your probs and your theme props to make sure that I do not put an ice token on him. And that Ice Wall token, and that to me is the issue, because the idea that I can't in this game find some way of giving in cap to Iceman is naive, because you're going to forget about this figure, and you're going to allow some item, some dumb thing that's going to either allow me to put an action token when I hit, or allow me to use in cap when I hit, and I'm going to put that on Iceman.
Edward, Cloak of Levitation.
What, Cloak of Levitation gives you in cap?
No, it gives you sidestep, so he can attack every turn for free.
Oh, yay!
That's what Derek did before with the.
Yeah, that's really what he did, and yeah, because it just says when he moves. Oh yeah, so congratulations, It's freaking back. It's freaking back.
Yeah,
it's literally exactly what Derek did.
They literally. Yes, it remains a fact that they should not have printed the cloak. So. Yeah.
Okay. So again, Jake, thank you. You have saved me tons of time. And this is dumb. And we're going to move on. I like Warlock and I like Banshee, but we're going to skip over because they don't really do too much more. Warlock is semi pick a power, but that's it.
The old Warlock is a favorite of mine, but he's not good now. So.
Yeah, like he has a whole lot of dial, not a whole lot.
My problem with Banshee is that if you were going to make a legacy card for a broken figure and then balance them, why did you bother?
Fair enough.
That's my main thought.
All right. Next up on the list, and this is the last legacy card that we're going to talk about, is Sentinel Mark II. I wanted Sentinel Mark V to be good. It's crap. Like it's not good. Sentinel. I
assume we're looking at 30 points.
You know what? I'm going to say this. I'm gonna come out. I know you're gonna roast me for it. I like 150 and I like 30 points. I like the low dial and the high dial. I know I'm going to get the hate. I'm going to take them flames. Call me Fuego. But hear me out why I say this. At 150 points, I feel Sentinel Mark II has potential to stay in games. Like with everything that's out there right now, I think he has the potential to stay in games. And you're able to make the portable, rescue party that's going to heal him up after he's taken damage, and then he goes back in there. Like I think if you're going to look at him as like I'm going to play him and then like two other attackers, like no, he functionally is a gun. This is Gundam, not Gundam Wing, not Gundam 008 or whatever. Like no, this is like Gundam. Here is base Gundam. He's going out. It got beat up, and he goes back to the ship and gets repaired. Like that's how I see it. And once he scores 150 points or 160 points, I think it's sort of game, because I think otherwise it's almost insanely hard to kill him. I don't think this is I'm gonna win worlds with this figure. I think you can place potentially. That's my guts. I prepare for you to rip out the heart and soul of my feelings.
I mean, I'm not a negative person, so I'm inclined to let it go.
But yeah,
I mean, 30 points is good for sure.
Okay, let's talk about the 30 points. Running shot, pulse wave. You get a decent defense at 15. Perplex. I like the fact that you have a 10 range perplex. You have the prime directive. You also have Hunter Killer. When Sentinel Mark II KOs a character after resolution, heal it 1 click. Once per game, if the KO character has either Brotherhood of Mutants or X-Men keyword or team ability, modifies combat values by +1. So like you could just get beefy.
Yeah, it's too bad. It's too bad X-Men isn't about to become the best keyword in the game or anything.
Yeah, I think that in and of itself is worthwhile. Like once you kill an X-Men, you start to get a little bit stronger.
The only problem is that his printed values are pretty crappy to begin with, except for his range.
No, yeah, and again, I think they lowered the overall points on him too.
I did not play back then. I'm not as familiar with this figure. To be honest.
I think this is a Toys R Us exclusive. I think
Might be
because it's 2 and 5. I think those are the 2 Toys R Us exclusives.
I'll believe whatever you say. I'm not going to argue with you on it.
And again, they were years and years ago, because I think these were GSX. I think.
Yeah, it was GSX with the Super Boosters.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, yeah, the same. Or yeah, that's the set.
Yeah, but anyway, but yeah, I think.
I personally own 1 copy, and I'm probably going to keep it for 30 points because that just seems reasonable. So.
Yeah, giant size X-Men, and yeah, because the top dial used to be 300, so they just pretty much cut all the points in half. And
well, I mean,
those are the figures from the set. Do you have any? Is there any equipment that you want to talk about that you're just like, this is a problem, or yeah, like this is going to be everywhere?
I mean, I think there's a lot that are pretty stupid.
Okay,
I think the Mermaid Blade should not have been printed, if that's what you're asking.
That's fair. So my biggest thought so far has been Mercy is going to be the most annoying thing ever. Like that's a free prob without prob. So
yeah, I think Vermilion's also like incredible.
Yeah. Let's see. So real quick, Mercy, for those who don't know, Mercy, ignoring the Blaze Calls Fangs part, because they all have Blaze Calls Fangs. Once per turn, when this character is attacked, you may re-roll the attack. So you get a free rollout. You get a free prop. Muramasa Blade, when this character uses it, rolls 1 through 3 for your blades. The hit character can't use defense powers until the beginning of your next turn. So yeah, like that can't be broken, right, kids? Right? And then Vermilion. When this character uses it after resolutions, deal 1 damage to each opposing character adjacent to the hit target. So Cyclops Sentinel, except for blades. So yeah, Black Bone of Amadouat. Amadouat. Okay. When this character uses it, the hit target can't use stop for this attack. Which in most cases you'd be like, yeah, all right, whatever. But considering that you can swap this character the sword in with any sword bearer, yeah, this is going to be a problem. Starlight, I didn't think that was bad, because you just put the character number of squares away, and no one ever does that. It could be a gank, but most people aren't going to do that. Seducer, you get your mind control for free if you hit against the target you hit. Like, you just made people Diamond Patch. Like that, you made people Diamond Patch. Every Diamond Patch is not special anymore. Colony, you get exploit weakness, which is not like adding exploit weakness on there was not a good idea. When this character uses Blade Claw's Fangs, if the target shares a keyword with this character, increase the damage dealt by 1. I think that's the weakest. Do you think so?
Sorry, which one was that?
Colony. Like if you share a keyword, you deal more damage.
I already said that I think that Redroot's sword is the worst, which is Alluvium.
Alluvium. Let's see.
Snow Cloud is free.
Oh yeah. After this character, you Smoke Cloud is free. Yeah. I mean,
in what world? Just tell me in what world I'm playing that, and I will be very surprised.
I would have to make an argument that the only reason that you're doing that is if you have like a whole bunch of weird stealth going on, or you're gaining some other effect when you use Smoke Cloud. Like,
sure,
that's the only reason I see.
But essentially, it would have to be very specific.
Yes, it has to. Yeah, it has to.
The use case is an exception rather than the rule.
Yeah. Let's see. Twilight Sword, Blades. When this character uses after resolution, you may generate a number of block and terrain markers up to the D6 result. That one can be fun to cage somebody. But yeah. And so I don't know if Clix Nexus has all of the swords. Here's Purity. Purity's on here. Scarab and Purity's on here. Okay, so Scarab, when this character uses it, increase the damage dealt by 1 for each 4 in the attack roll. So that just more goes with re-rolling the 4s. So that can be pretty cool. Purity, when the character uses it after resolution, you may generate a Akara bystander. And the Akara bystanders are like precision strike and 2 damage. I think we've talked about. I think I brought them all up. Seducer's Mind Control, Scarab, Purity, Twilight Sword. Yeah, that's it. So, I think we're going to be in a very interesting age. Which sword do you think is going to be the most popular? I assume it's Muramasa, right?
I believe that will be the case.
Yeah.
But I can also make a strong case for a couple others. I mean, walking is good. Doing more than 6 damage with blades is good. Like I think they all have use cases. I just think that there's just one standout.
I think,
and again, it's not like you're ever main forcing any of them, so you always have the choice of all of them. So
yeah. I think just primarily, I think Mercy and Muramasa are probably going to be number 1 and 2. Like, because in spite of there being a sword that deals with stop clicks, considering that most stop clicks are on defense powers, Muramasa just shuts that off. So you're just going to use that anyway. So All right. I think we've covered everything. We're not touching tarot cards with a 10-foot pole on the show right now. So, yeah. You have any shout-outs, Jay?
I would say that I am eventually running a charity tournament this year. And that UK Nats is this weekend, but that's all I got.
Oh, okay. So you're doing UK Nats, I assume.
I am currently in the UK to judge UK Nats.
Oh, okay, cool. That's nice. All right. Well, again, do you want to do any other plugs for your shows or anything?
Oh, I mean, JSA Clicks podcast has people that are better than me at heroclix, so it's a good podcast. It's not a good podcast because I'm on it. It's actually despite of it. But yeah, I mean,
I don't know. I mean, if that was the case, people wouldn't team up with you. So I would definitely say, yeah, definitely good commentary.
I think. I mean, if I wasn't on it, I would listen to it. I think Devin's one of the best players. So,
all right.
I mean, Devin's an amazing heroclix player. Azeroth's an amazing heroclix player. I mean, I get people that are very good at the game to be on it. So,
there we go. All right. So again, I'd like to thank you all for listening. Make sure, if you have any comments on the show, email me at startingoverpodcast@gmail.com. That's startingoverpodcast@gmail.com. If you wish to opine, keep it piffy, keep it interesting, keep it awesome, baby. Let me know what you think about the set, either in the email or in the comments below. Also, if you want me to go through the tarot cards, and you want Jay back for a tarot cards, put that in the comments below, and we both can rage together. Rage so bad. And last but not least, if you want to try to find out when new shows are out, Twitter still isn't working with me, so nothing I can do for you. So anyway, thank you for listening through our about 2.5 hours worth of content. And remember, we all have to start over sometime.